such an asshole.
What's up?
What's happening?
This is it, eh?
This is it.
You kicked off your second busy season, you said?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say it's kicking off. It's just gradually kind of gearing up. By the end of this month, yeah, I'll be in the thick of it again.
How does that compare to like busy season? Is it like 50% is bad, 75% is bad?
25%.
Okay, so it's not that bad.
Nah, I mean, remember, that took some time for me to get into that position, like we've talked about. So.
Oh yeah, no, the
Yeah.
was it the I don't know if it's a true story, but there's a woman in Times Square or Central Park. She sees Pablo Picasso. She says, "Oh, can I have you draw me a picture?" And he draws it for her, and he says, "There you go." She's like, "Oh, thank you, so that's so kind. What would you have charged me for it if you were going to charge for it?" He said $25,000, and it's like in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
And she says, that's so much money for such little effort. He's like, it's not the effort I did to draw it. It's the effort I had to put in decades before to be able to draw it.
Yeah.
And the same thing here. Yeah. All the foundation you laid to get to this point is where the real work was.
Yeah, I love it when I used to argue with people about, the time it would take and fees and estimates and all that. They're like, well, it's not going to take you that long to do. I'm like, really now? So same concept.
Yeah. So I got a request from a guy in New Zealand. So there's going to be some slight translation in terms I'm going to have to do. So let me read through it. Hi, Aaron. Hope all is well in your parts of the woods. I'm requesting a consultation about my career path. There are two key questions I have for you. One, in your view, what is the best way to land an accounting graduate role? And I think after reading the rest of the email, he means after I graduate, how do I find an accounting job? Not how do I go become a graduate student in accounting? That's where one of my first confusions were because Kiwis are weird. And then the second question is, should I pursue my CA, which is a certified accountant? That's their version of the CPA down in New Zealand, or just major in accounting and work. Here's some context. I'm 23 years old and from New Zealand. I took your advice a few years ago and studied accounting. I'm going to graduate in November. I currently have $8,000 of student debt, which is like around $6,000 US. I paid most of my university fees in cash. It would be as I worked full time for 2 years before I went to university, saved $20,000. From there, I have managed to pay most of my university fees in cash by working 20 to 40 hours a week over the university week. When it is summer, holidays, or semester break, I normally work 60 plus hours a week and saved hard. So this guy's going to have practically no student loan debt. I have worked about 8 different jobs from the time I was 16, so I have plenty of job experience and have completed internships while studying. My GPA is 5.1, which is a B average in New Zealand. I'm happy to continue to work 60 hours plus per week when I graduate to pay off my debt quickly and start saving money and put it towards good use. That would presume he's paid by the hour, not salary. I pay $100 a week in rent for a 3x2 meter room. This is where we get into the confusing statistics the people who did not revolt against the British do with their metrics. So $400 a month, 3x2, 9x6, 54 square foot room, which was previously an old office. I assume when I graduate, I'll be able to generate at least 1,500 New Zealand a week, which is 75,000 New Zealand total, 60,000 US per year. Most graduate roles can earn 30 plus an hour, 40 to 50 hours a week, plus a part-time job on the weekends. Graduate career path options. How should I go about landing a graduation role? Meaning after graduates, how do you find a job? I have a network who I'm currently in contact with about potential jobs, and I'm currently using job seeker application. Any advice to land graduate jobs appreciated. I already have one incredible bit of advice for him, but I want to hear your advice for him.
I think I have this exact same advice that
what
you
would
have.
be your exact same advice, Mr. Elkins?
So it's been a long time coming, but there's this wonderful new course that I hear has just hit the shelves.
No,
Is
not
that it?
even
No?
that. Nope. He could take that amazing, wonderful course. We'll get to it later. What I've read so far is his number one problem. There's a hint. There's a problem he's got, and it won't matter if he had an 8.0 or whatever the New Zealanders do with their GPA. What is going to prevent him from getting a job?
did he share his, well, okay, before I get into demographics and things like that,
no.
or was that it? No.
Nope.
What does he want to do in accounting? Is
No.
that what we're going for?
No. Let's channel our inner asshole, Chad. Are
Okay.
you a busy guy? Do you have shit going on in your life?
Yes.
I'm a busy guy. I have shit going on in my life.
Yes.
Do we have time to hear about I spend on a 3x8 meter 20
Oh, I see what you were saying.
3 pence fence width per fortnight, and my left nut sag's a little bit lower than my right nut. Sometimes I got scratchy. Get to the fucking point.
Gotcha.
And maybe young people don't understand this. One, does anyone give a fuck about you, Chad?
No.
No one gives a fuck about you.
No.
Okay? You might find it fascinating giving us all this details. No one gives a fuck about you. The older and higher up you go in corporate America, so this kid comes in entry level, does the director at a public accounting firm have time for his bullshit?
No.
No. Get to the fucking point.
Clary,
That is good. Yeah.
I just have a request. I can do
Yes.
this now when we're done. I need to basically go on a rant about the exact same thing you're ranting about right
Please
now.
do.
But
Please
okay,
do.
this relates to those that are emailing me, whether they find my channel or your channel or maybe even the course or whatever. I got 3 of these this morning, dude. They were this long. Okay. They were, it was just insane. And you know how much I love that. And at least they had paragraphs. So, they had paragraphs. But dude, what did all 3 of these seem to lack? Now, besides not getting to the point, there was no mention in there of what when they're sending me these chads. What should I do? What should I do?
Offer to pay?
Yes, not look, I do this for fun, but I also it's like you just said, Clary, we don't have all the time in the world, and we're not Mother Teresa's here, okay?
No.
So first of all, just for those that want to ask me a question or email me a question, please, like Clary says, keep it very brief, get to the point, and we're not running a charity here. Now, was that asshole enough or
It's asshole enough. It's more
Okay.
an important thing that these younger people, because if they wanna, okay, you and I are gonna die. We have finite time. Our time is valuable.
Yes.
All right. Who is wasting their lives that can listen to him talk for hours? If you want to talk to someone for hours on end, who can he talk to because they have nothing better going on?
Man, there's so many answers there. Unemployed people,
I was gonna say social workers.
social
They don't do anything
Well,
important. No, they don't. They literally do nothing important. They haven't solved one problem. So go hit them up. Therapists, but they generally charge more.
I got to be careful with that one, but yeah.
Well, no, the big charge for their money or for their
Mhm.
time. So I got that. But yeah, if you want to waste people's time, go talk to a social worker or a nonprofit type. They don't have anything else going on. So there's that. But
And the thing is, man, I like helping people. You know this about me, but it's like, how do I do this when you're sending me like this? And it's just like, tell me what to do, Chad.
do you even read them?
I skim through them. I try to skip over. There's all kinds of ancillary and unnecessary detail in these. But this morning, I did get pretty pissed off. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys?
I will, if I see a wall of text come in, I will send them a quote just to read the email. I'm like, I will not
Really?
read your email. Yes, I say your email is ridiculously long. I will not read your email unless you pay me $50 or $70, depending on how long or annoying that email is.
Okay.
And one of 2 things will happen. They'll either pay, which is fair and just, or they'll, okay, let me resend it. I'm like, no, it's already too late. You've sent it. You've already wasted my time. I'm going to now embed that in the price of your new email that you're going to send. So
I almost called you this morning when this happened, and I was going to be like, dude, what do I do about this? So this is a timely discussion we're having.
yeah, charge for
Yeah.
your time. Like, I'm not reading this unless you pay me. It's going to cost, and you have to be very clear up front. I'm not answering your question. You're going to pay me to read your email, and then I will send you a separate quote as to what it's going to cost to answer your email.
Okay. Again, guys, please keep it brief and get to the point. All right.
Yes. So then let's get to his actual question.
Okay.
How should he go about finding a job?
I mean, to me, that's an awfully vague question. It's almost like the how do I get the girls or how do I start a business? I mean, first of all, did he say if you read the whole email, I didn't hear anything about a specific area of or which type of job in the industry he's looking for. Did he say anything about that?
No, he didn't say anything about that. He's going to graduate here within a year or so. He's not graduated yet, but graduation is coming up soon.
Soon.
He works a lot. Did he have an internship? 23 New Zealand.
So probably a corporate job, I would guess, if he's not saying anything.
Yeah, no, well, what I was going to say, I don't see anything in here, but the email is unnecessarily long. I don't see anything about an internship. That would be the most obvious thing to me is for him
Yes.
to get an internship at an accounting firm, like kind of step one while you're still in school, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Would you say now we don't know about New Zealand, but we can speak about the United States, but generally that's almost kind of a requirement here in the United States to get some kind of internship, right?
That's gonna get your foot in the door, and that's gonna take all the pressure off by the time you graduate, so yes.
Mhm. Now, he's got kind of a marginal GPA, a B average in the United States. That's you have a pulse. I don't know if grade inflation is the same thing in New Zealand or if you guys continue to hold your standards, but I would say unless you're in engineering like our good friend Atham, you should have nothing less than like a 3.8, like an A minus A average in accounting. Unless is there like advanced financial statement analysis? Are there classes that it's really hard to get an A in?
I mean, yeah, ultimately, but at the same time, I'll say this about accounting, like, I mean, you do obviously wanna try to get the best grades that you can get in these courses, but it really is all about, is this person gonna be able to apply all this stuff? Which again, internships are key, but, it's like we talked about, if you are going to eventually get the top certification, which in New Zealand, it was called something else,
Just
you
the
said
CA.
CA,
Mm.
then it really is a little bit less about your GPA and more about just passing the damn things. But it sounds like he wants to get a job prior to doing that. So
Right.
yeah,
And he might have to just to sit for their CA exam like we do here.
yeah.
I'll be honest, it just sounds like it'd be the advice of any old regular job,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
that's why I wanted some specifics here. Like, do you want to do tax? Do you know about public accounting? Do you feel audit is a thing? Do you want to do corporate month-end close? Is bookkeeping your jam? Maybe you
Mhm.
want to work for the government. You know, it's honestly, man, I'm not trying to knock the kid, but it sounds a little bit too much like what type of business should I start?
Well,
You know?
okay, I'm gonna give him some forgiveness because when you were well, he's 23, so maybe he should be kind of coming up, but maybe he's a late start. But when you were in your younger 20s, late teens, did you
Mhm.
know about any of this shit? Like, no one really
No,
trained me in on this shit.
we didn't have YouTube back then.
Right, right. We didn't
Yeah.
have teachers or parents either. Boomer, I
Yeah,
like your parents. I like your parents
that's
like that.
true.
So I can understand him, especially the Zoomer generation where you're I don't know, but again, not New Zealand, but teachers in the media and everyone like, "Oh my god, tell me what you think about yourself. How does that make you
Mhm.
feel?" When you're done being raised by a bunch of women, meaning the public schools, okay, and you're done having your ass kissed over in the colleges, "Oh, what do you oh, what do you need? Do you need a therapy dog?" The real world rapidly stops giving a shit about you. We don't care about your
Right.
backstory. Like I've seen people interview, even back in my day, there was a group interview. One guy mentioned that he had like a ADHD. I'm like looking at him like, what the fuck are you telling them that for? So it's more adult. No one cares about you. You are a commodity to them. How do you best make yourself useful to them? And how can they easily judge that is what I would kind of have
Yeah.
the overall strategy of him for his job hunt. So it'd be things like good grades. You got to get your grades up. A B average is not good enough. I mean, inevitably it won't matter. I think he will inevitably break into accounting,
Yeah.
but to make it a lot easier, you should have an A minus level. I'm not saying you got to get straight A's, A pluses, but a B is average nowadays in the West. The internship, going along your lines, would you say he should decide tax audit and kind of specialize in his classes in the next year that he has courses to take?
I think it's in his best interest to at least research all areas to try to figure out what he wants to go into, because I think the mistake that people used to make as undergrads is that they'd just be like, "Oh, I hear accountants can get jobs. You know, that's a good solid career."
Mm.
But you have to know what about the industry draws you to it. You have to have a story about where you want to go. So that was my next piece of advice. Like, have a narrative about your reason for doing all of this.
Right, because there's
Yeah.
bookkeeping, tax, audit,
There's government accounting, which is
government accounting,
yeah.
nonprofit, valuations is a thing. And you know where you can learn about all those things and more about careers in accounting?
There may have been that course we were talking about earlier. Am I right?
It's not called the world's greatest accounting career. It's called, you're not watching. You got to watch, Chad. This is the title is so amazing. There's visual, there's optics. It's not the world's greatest accounting career. It's the world's greatest accounting career.
The world's.
World's greatest. So many women are going to want to date you. Yeah, but more seriously, that is, we go into great deal in the course on the difference between audit and tax and bookkeeping and all things. But you are right. So he would take courses specializing in audit with an emphasis in audit. He could put that on his resume.
Sure.
Now it identifies him, and he's in audit. We can use him for there as opposed to tax or valuation or whatever else.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what GPA. He's got a work ethic, so it shows that he works. So I'd be adding that on his resume, showing that he did indeed work, whether it was accounting or not. Yeah.
Oh, nothing. I just thought there were some internet issues. Go on. I still hear you.
Yeah. So internship, specialization in a major, taking different courses, good GPA, get really good and succinct and precise communication skills. And I'd just be practicing interviews, right?
Yes. I mean, you have to come across as relatable and likable in these interviews. And I know that sounds obvious, but some of the weaknesses of my fellow accountants here is that, they're a little too left brain, maybe a little on the spurgy side. So I think some soft skill development, just make sure you've got that.
How do you, I'm going to say that's not possible. How do you develop soft skills? It's not math. It's not a skill. You just socialize over time and it's intuitive. I would say accountants are much better off. Look, almost view it like a military interview. Talk when you're talked to, answer the questions directly and succinctly, and don't go off on no tangents. Because how do you tell them to be charming and charismatic in an interview? I don't know if you could teach.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, yeah, practice. Basically, like you said, just practice having a discussion. Don't be like, just be like, well, this is something I had in mind as far as my path. Here's why I think I want to do it. That's all I meant. I mean, if that even can be practiced,
Yeah, having your answers, because they're only going to ask you a certain number of questions, the questions of which will generally fall into several categories. Like, okay, they're going to ask you about your work experience. I don't know if New Zealand, if they have HR Karens, were you ever in a situation? How do you resolve it and why? I mean, this is, again, we're practice interviews. So you're going to have maybe 10, I can't imagine more than 12 answers to 10 standard questions. And once you have your answers, and Chad, is the interviewer and the hiring manager, are they busy?
They have a lot to do as well. So yeah, don't, how about this? Don't blabbermouth. Don't go on and on and on. Yeah.
Yep. Just answer and off to the races. And
yeah,
I think that'd be good. So anything else, just general, interview is standard advice you'd get for any college graduate who wants to find a job.
It's the thing. It's almost like a non-accounting question, because it's just basically like, how do I find a job and how do I interview well, coming out of college? I mean, specific to accounting, I say just have some knowledge of the lingo, try to communicate why you want to do it. How about this? Have some knowledge about some current events in the industry, if that's possible. I know nothing about New Zealand's accounting industry or situation, but it never hurts to have some topics to talk about. Some
hygiene, good.
Yeah, wear a tie,
shave. Yeah, I mean, common. Yeah, you think we don't have to say it, but then Jordan Peterson writes a book called "Wipe Your Own Ass," and that's like a multi-million-dollar bestseller because kids didn't know to wipe their own ass nowadays. So
yeah.
All right, then there's the certified accountant CA question, which is the CPA down there. I have the ability to do my CA if I would like to, but I have watched many videos in the past of yours describing the pros and cons of pursuing a CA. I'm still undecided. Please advise. I do not have a huge desire to do my CA, as I would prefer just to work extra hours instead of studying for my CA and work myself up in my career. However, I also realize once you become a CA, you have a genuine skill you can offer and will always be employed.
Okay. So is he asking us to decide for him? I mean, what?
I think he just wants some insight on the pros and cons of both. I would say this is where his personal life goals come in.
Yeah.
Chad, if you don't want to have kids and you're okay being a bachelor and you're living minimally, do you need a master's degree in the CPA here in the States?
Oh God, no.
No. Did you enjoy
No.
getting your master's degree and getting your CPA?
I think that master's degree is, if not the biggest regret in my entire life, definitely in the top 5, we'll say.
I'm going to guess being friends with Atham is number one because that's my number one biggest regret is Atham. I was like, oh, God, Jesus, he's my friend. Can't get rid of him.
So you've met 2 of my biggest regrets then.
I have.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll take Atham any day over Colonel Wilkins. Oh
yeah.
my God. I'll do
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if he just wants to work and he has the track record of working a lot in different jobs, I think he'd be just fine without getting a CA.
I don't think he needs it.
Yeah, I don't think he needs it. And here's the thing. I'm just going to age requirement, certified accountant, New Zealand. Like, can he not apply for it?
I would guess their requirements are probably similar to ours, just a guess. I mean,
you don't have to be a certain youthful age. Do you meet the requirements? Eligibility, academic, demonstrate, alternative pathways, English, recognition, inherent requirements, provisional memberships, right to study, visa, criminal record, police check. Nowhere is there an age requirement. It's not like the plane directors, the plane referees. Who the hell are the plane referees?
The plane referees?
They make sure the planes don't crash into each other. What do they call it? Air traffic control.
Air traffic control?
Right,
Yeah.
you need to be a certain young age to do that because your reflexes are slower when you get older.
Oh, I see.
That's not the case here. So he doesn't have to get it now. And on top of it, Chad, you just come fresh out of school with your butt all squeaky clean and become a certified accountant? Are you allowed to take the test?
Would you care to get the answer is no, and would you care to guess what age I finally completed my CPA requirements? I don't know if I ever told you this. Take a guess.
34, 35?
32.
Okay.
A lot of people think, "Oh, I'm 30. I can't do it. I can't do it." No, I got mine at 32.
Yeah.
So,
that's only for gals that want to have children. Your eggs are gone by that time. I'm sorry, very wrong of me. It's 42. That was overly harsh, I admit. No, there's no age thing. But he does need 3 years working experience to take the test. So he's got
3.
Yeah, let me, it's amazing what this thing called Chad, have you heard of the internet?
What's that?
I don't know, but there sure is a lot of information up here that you don't have to pay some asshole in the United States for. Academic, I saw it said 3 years.
Well, if it's 3 years, obviously he should wait a little bit before deciding if he wants to go down that road.
Yeah, academic, demonstrate competency.
I feel like the CPA is becoming less and less necessary the way things are going.
To make a living, you don't need it.
Right.
It really is. I know it's not germane to the accounting industry, let alone any other industry, but people aren't getting married and not having kids. When you don't get married and you're not having kids and you're a guy, though not exclusively, your expenses drop dramatically and you don't need to be a CPA. You could just be a bookkeeper, a regular old accountant. I could have swore somewhere I saw there was a 3-year work experience requirement for New Zealand, but he's going to have to work a little bit regardless. I would recommend he work anyway in the accounting field so he gets some, because you can't just take the test. And if you did take the test and passed, you would lack the real, I mean, you could go through all the basic training in the world. You inevitably got to go fight a war to know what the hell you're doing. I'd say it'd be the same thing here with the New Zealand CPA.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if they have an accounting shortage too out there.
I don't know. I'm going to guess the West in general does because it's the same cultural thing. Like how, do they have like autists and, oh my God, I have a deficit disorder and I can't work. Like, do they have disability and do they have a bunch of crying? Like, can their men throw a grenade? Like,
Well,
really? I don't know because ours can't. They got complaints about like, oh, like they can't throw a grenade, or at least far enough for not to cause damage to their team. So I would say in his particular case, uh, yeah, he could get the CA later at any point in time.
yeah,
So go work and enjoy and,
yeah.
take a breather, and he may make enough money that he doesn't have to worry about it.
I always tell people don't rush into immediately like I mean it is such a sacrifice to have to try to get that certification. So don't just jump into it by default. See how things go without it and then you can ultimately reach a conclusion that you may or may not need it. That's kind of what I did at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of my image here because I have shit internet. How's my audio?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I would. Here's another thing, Chad. When you got the CPA, did it increase the number of girls you got?
Actually, the CPA, like studying for the CPA exam and taking the CPA exam is the reason I ended up like getting dumped essentially. It was terrible. Right after grad school, I was this relationship with this girl from Chicago. Like she lived in Chicago, I moved to Chicago. I did nothing but study and was like no fun for 6 months and she just had enough of it.
Ah,
So,
oh well,
yeah.
that's too bad. Yeah, just so you know, you're not. I mean, there actually is a social cost to studying that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd go have fun. If he's 23, he'll be 24 when he graduates. Yeah, go. He's been working 60 hours, 70, 80, 100 even if you factor in school. I'd
Yeah.
take some time off, just go be an accountant.
I would absolutely take some time off before deciding to do this. Definitely.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad I answered. Now, Chad, is that the only angle of
Uh,
careers in accounting?
there are several other options in the accounting industry. I assume just like here, New Zealand, they would apply over there too.
Right. Do we have the time to go over the hours that would be required to give everybody the information, all aspiring accountants, the information they need to know about going into the accounting field and how to do it most efficiently, expeditiously, at the least amount of time and financial cost to them? Do we have the time to do that right now?
I think there's a better way of going about it,
There
and I
might,
think
but like there be a consolidated location where all that you could find this information, not for free, Christ no, but certainly at an affordable price. Do you think there's a place like that?
oh look, I found a link in the show
You
description.
did? Oh my
Whoa,
God, Chad, tell us
who
more.
put that there? Oh. Um, so Claire, just real quick, I
Yeah.
did read over that story from this morning. I did read over like a lot of these, the emails I'm getting. Like, I
Uh,
honestly think I should just reply and be like, just take Clary's course. That'll answer all your stuff.
yes,
Is that
that
an appropriate
wait.
yeah,
Okay, why did we set up the course, Chad?
to
I know it was to
avoid
make
situations like this? Yeah.
you kept by the way, because we haven't done the full plug. There's a course out there called The World's Greatest Accounting Career. It's available, it's linked below. It does foreigners can take it as well because it would generally apply. But if you're interested in an accounting career, take it because there's more than I mean, what are we're talking half an hour now about the application process and how to find a job. There's a lot more to accounting careers. That's why we created the course because you kept getting all kind of the same questions, but a lot of questions. And we, over the course of 2 years of your podcast, we've probably answered most of them.
We've
But good
covered a
luck
lot.
finding that topic on that episode at that time in the 2 hour podcast. So, what we did is we put together a course on Teachable called The World's Greatest Accounting Career, and it's available for sale. I have it linked below. It's $150 and it answers everything. And now, have you taken the time? I know you helped me with the outline, but have you taken the time at the actual delivery to see what I did?
Yeah, I have. I started it. I got a few more things I need to get through, but yeah, like I get it that everybody's situation is a little bit nuanced. There's no one size fits all. But I have to say, like I think most people should just go through that course first, and then if they have more specific questions, hit either you up or hit me up or
Right.
something.
And then
Yeah,
it'll save you time. Because what are we going to do if they send us a long email? What are we going to do?
we're pretty much going to we'll either have to charge them or get annoyed that they took all that time to write.
Never get angry. Just charge. Yeah, you're going to charge $50 to answer the email. You're going to get this one question answered, and then you're going to have probably 99 other questions that went unanswered. Whereas if you drop the $150 plus tax on the world's greatest accounting career, available on teachable.com. I want girls in bikinis with pom-poms, cheering you on. Go, accountants, go. Make the money. No, I won't sleep with you.
We need you, Mary Jo. No, she doesn't listen to us anymore.
I should check in with her. And rarely do I make promises because I can't predict the future. Chad, how much money, knowing what you know now, how much money would you have saved if you were to go and get your CPA differently?
Oh, I can tell you $100,000.
$100,000.
Yeah.
Okay. That's avoiding that's one aspect. Would you have gone to fancier schools, or would you have just gone to Western Governors University to get your degree in accounting?
I would have gone to the cheapest school possible, only gotten a master's, not an MBA. And by the way, that $100,000 I just said, that doesn't take account for the opportunity cost of the 2 years I gave up from actually earning money at a job.
So can I safely say that if people take this course, they will, through cost and time savings, get their $150 back?
Yes, very much so. I mean, it's only $150, you guys.
Well, that's a lot for a young person. I get it. But if I can convince them to go, by the way, we're not giving away the whole course, but don't be going to some expensive private liberal arts college. Go to an accredited online school for cheap. Okay. Don't go get a master's degree go and get it for cheap. But there's other time and cost savings that will definitely more than save you the $150 down the road.
I got caught up in the name of the program I went to, the name of the school, because it does kind of have a name, but you don't need to do that in the accounting industry, especially if you're getting your CPA. It really doesn't matter where you went to school. Yeah.
Are you saying you went to the Carlson School of Management, the Harvard of Hennepin County? I
think that would have been the least bad move compared to what I actually did. I probably should have gone to Carlson's where I did go. So
no, I wouldn't even go to look, all business schools, business isn't a thing. It's all information. Go to school online, accredited, be done with it. There's your free advice. We saved you plenty of we saved you in parking fees and gas alone a couple $1,000s. All right.
Yeah. And I still get those envelopes in the mail from the Alumni Association. We are in a fundraising drive. We could use your support.
We fucked you in the ass for several tens of thousands of dollars. You want to give us more? I'm like, no, I'm going to cost you more. God, matter of fact, give me back all the money plus interest, and then I won't expose you people. You got time for super chats?
Yeah, I think we only have a couple here.
We got a couple. Yeah. Oh, we only got 2. That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, just go ahead, Chad.
Justified Misogyny. What's up, man? For $2. Thoughts on real estate accounting? Is it hard? I never took a real estate accounting course. There's really nothing too nuanced about real estate accounting. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if you're talking about a course or a job or like a career. It's not that hard.
No, it's well, any industry is going to have its own unique names and accounts, but the process and procedure is universally the same. I know Justified, if you're interested, go look at a Schedule E, and that'll kind of give you the income statement side of real estate. I think with real estate, things like depreciation recapture and tax consequences from selling a house with capital gains, that might be a little bit different than say a plastics manufacturer, but you're just tracking all the expenses, all the revenues. You're spending on an income statement and a balance sheet. It's not really all that different than any other industry.
Hold on, Claire, I need a minute.
All right.
I'm just so proud. I mean, I taught you so well. How you knew all that. How you knew all of that right there.
Okay. I do have a degree in finance. I'm aware how income statement, and I had rental property. I'm aware of depreciation recapture, especially because I paid it. Yeah.
You remember how I tried to explain it to you?
Yeah, you explained it to me. Yeah.
Depreciation recapture is not a good thing, you guys, but it's a necessary evil of having a rental. So
you even explained to me how passing it on into inheritance allows you to avoid that tax for your inheritors.
Do you know what a 1031 exchange is?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. You guys can Google that if you don't.
Or also, if you wanted I should loop him in one of these days. Craig Kamen, the most real estate looking guy in real estate. Kamman. You can find him on YouTube if you want to learn about investing in real estate. But that's a different guy, different topic.
Hey, Crab, what are you doing here? For $2, accounting market, especially bookkeeping, is weird at the moment. My most recent stream with him was about a week and a half ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. We talked all about that. Yeah, what's
Why are
going on
people
with
not
bookkeeping?
hiring bookkeepers? Because I thought you couldn't keep up with demand.
That's what he said in his first stream with me, but it would kind of flipped a 180 on the one we did a couple weeks ago. He's having trouble like finding bookkeeping engagements, and I actually got quite a few emails about that
That people
regarding yeah,
that
like
can't find it.
well, basically, a lot of people want to go into bookkeeping, and so they were planning on doing it. And then they heard the stream that Crab and I did, a week ago last Thursday, and it kind of freaked them out. They were like, "Well, that kind of scared me. What do you think I should do?" Type thing.
Well, this is
So
important. I mean, I don't want to send people
yeah,
down a path where there ain't no job. What is it like? Did he do the QuickBooks certification? Did he set up
he
his
did.
QuickBooks profile? Okay, he's not getting anything from that,
The gist of it was so we did our first stream back in November,
right?
and he had said in that, he was going on the online bulletin board job like Indeed and some of the others, and he was
Uh-huh.
getting a lot of bookkeeping opportunities. But then when we talked a couple weeks ago, he was saying that had really slowed down, and I feel like that's because of current economic conditions. I don't think it's not that there's no bookkeeping jobs. I just think a lot of folks are preparing for something bad.
I happen to agree with you. There's a bunch of now I'm nowhere near the economist I used to be because I don't pay attention to the data because no one's paying me. But just some ancillary data I've happened across. Yeah, something's wrong. I do believe we're in a recession based on what limited data, but
Yeah.
that would be more of an economy wide, not necessarily an accounting profession issue. But yeah, if people are holding back, man, if you're cutting back on your accountants and bookkeeping, that's bad.
It's
That's bad.
I feel like we might be in for something after this election. I do want to say one thing about this. I was going to tell you this after the show, Clary. I might be doing a stream tomorrow night, but it also might be next week. I have an inspiring story, more bookkeeping material about a bookkeeper who started his own thing last year who is making it work
Okay.
for him. So it's more positive compared to what Crab and I were talking about on the last one. So
Okay,
just
cool.
hold tight on that. Don't write off bookkeeping yet. Get
I
it right
mean,
off.
I know they're
Mhm.
firing the DEI and the ESG and the HR and the marketing and all the other worthless piece of shit, horse shit people out there who don't do anything. But if you're starting to cut into your accountants or like, I'll do that, that's a bad recession coming up. So we'll see. King Crab again.
Remote jobs for bookkeeping are no more. Yeah, that is probably, I'd say that's true. I need to give me a second here.
Hmm.
I get it. Everybody wants to work remote. That's great. You can sit at home. You don't have to commute anywhere. I know, Clara, you're a fan of not having a commute. Those of you who are like desperate to get bookkeeping jobs, you need to be willing to not work remotely. Okay. It's okay to try to work remotely, but I think some people have some slight unrealistic expectations about this.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to work in the trenches. I
Yes.
mean, yeah, you're going to have to get the experience working before you get to look. Everyone, and maybe we don't emphasize that enough. There is no situation in the world where you graduate with a degree in accounting and you are self-employed and remotely working.
Right.
That is at minimum 3 years out, minimum. So you all have to put in your dues. You
Yes.
all have to pay. But yeah, if you've gone down this path, yeah, make it work, get the experience, and then always have that side hustle going on. And slowly but surely, you'll start to accrue remote clients. But this is not a turnkey. It's done in one day. This is a
Right.
years long process.
If you guys refuse to find any job except a remote one, you're going to be looking for a long time, most
I
likely.
want I want a girl who's hot, doesn't have STDs, doesn't have another man's kids, has millions of dollars, and is nice and sweet on top of it, Chad.
She has to be a virgin too.
And she has to be a virgin too, right? And vote Republican or Libertarian.
Oh, jeez. Chase Roboto, what's up, man? For $1.99. Join the dark side. Become an accountant. I don't know if I'd call it the dark side, but
You know they're coming out with an accountant too?
I did see that, and it does have Ben Affleck in it again. Yeah,
that accountant one was pretty damn good.
it was
And
very
so,
good.
yeah, and accountant two, I'm like, okay, I could see that. I don't know what him and his brother are going to do, but that was a good movie.
Nice and spurgy. Thomas Rao for $2. Buddy is a bankruptcy attorney. He is getting busier. So I got
Okay.
an email. I got an email from a bankruptcy attorney based here in Fort Worth who is a
Mhm.
fan of you and a fan of me, and I may do a stream with him sometime soon.
Oh, cool. You guys going to
Yeah.
talk like bankruptcy accounting or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Crab again for $5. To be fair, I went for bookkeeping job and private clients, 6 figures to just private. Still making good money with private clients. Next year is just tax. So yeah, we talked about how he's really pivoting more towards the tax side of things from bookkeeping in that
Mm,
stream we did. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look, do both. Just to if you want to get self-employed, do both, man. And
Can't hurt.
can't hurt. Yeah.
Mazatsal for $2. Father was a bankruptcy judge for 50 years. Well, that's cool. He probably
Wow.
has some stories about how people screwed up their lives.
No, I bet. So, all right. Well, there we go. That's all we got for the super chats and all that. I will pay you out your shekels as always. And where can people find that amazing amount of information about everything you literally need to know about our accounting career in one convenient location? Where was that again, Chet? What was the title of that?
Well, there's 2 places. One is called the Elkins Accounting Hour. We have to throw that in.
Ah,
But there is also the world's I want to do it right. The world's greatest accounting career.
don't sell it too hard, Chad. You're just overselling it. The world's greatest accounting career. That's available on Teachable. And then also, if you want to learn, if you got the time to binge on hours of accounting podcasts, go to the Elkins Accounting Hour,
Yes.
which you could
Yes.
find on YouTube as well. All right. When should we hang out?
Soon.
Soon.